Too much to say, too much to lose. I get frustrated thinking about the world I brought you to. It's a battle of time that I have with you. We don't decide the how, the when, or if we make it through. I feel that you deserve a chance to know the truth and to be better than the ones who came before you, only to let pride and money weaken them. So be the young, the brave, the powerful, 'cause the world is standing waiting for someone to come and change it. Yeah, be the young, the brave, the powerful, 'cause we need a soul to save us, need someone to be the greatest. So many words.
Rise and shine. Good morning. It's Terry Joe. And it's Rise and Shine, Beloved. That is a beautiful song by, hold on, let me make sure the volume's turned up. By James Blunt, called The Greatest. I think it was written for these times. It's definitely a video that was made for these times because it shows, basically people in masks and the frontline workers. And I think it's really devoted to them. And I'm guessing to his child or children. Anyway, so beautiful, very moving song. I highly recommend you look it up. I'll try to remember to post it in the comments. I hope you're doing well. Today is Saturday. I missed you yesterday. I was in LA helping a dear relative friend of mine move. And so it was just a busy time. And so I couldn't get to the Rise and Shine yesterday, but here we are. And this is day 13, and we are doing yummy self-care. Today's focus will be on the spiritual level, so I'm excited to share that. And I want to start with our lighting of the candle, and then we'll call in the light and do a 2-minute world peace meditation, and then move on. So there's a little special candle, and we can just close our eyelids and sit in awe, in peace, in contentment, or in whatever you're feeling. Maybe it's fear, maybe it's anxiety, maybe it's restlessness. Just welcome it to the table, let it be okay. And we call on the masters, guides, teachers, avatars, angels and archangels of the light, the traveler, mystical consciousness, the Christ consciousness, all who work with us in the light. We are so grateful for your presence. We are grateful to be aware of the light and love that surrounds us. And we ask for a special blessing on this time here in our hearts, in our own personal worlds, but also around the globe. A blessing of healing, of grace, of majesty, of higher transformation, moving us into the realms where we know who we are, we remember who we are, and we show up in that wholeheartedness, ready to be of service wherever it's needed. For this and so much more, I'm grateful, and so it is. And here is our 2 minutes of peace. So you can start with yourself, send the loving and the light into, I gotta make sure my chair doesn't tip this over. Send the light into, sorry, I'm trying to make sure I'm in the video, not that I matter, but yes, to yourself first. Always we start with ourself. We anchor the loving in, the light in with ourself, and then let it radiate out everywhere around us. And if your mind wanders, just bring it back to the breath in, breathing in loving, breathing out peace, or breathing in loving, breathing out anything you no longer want. find that so nourishing, that little 2 minute of presencing, just being in the quiet, in the inner world. So it feels so delicious, especially now, right? So let's pick our card for the day. And the card I'm going to pick today is from the Wisdom of Avalon deck. That's this lovely deck right here by, Colette Baron Reed. I think she does several decks, I think. Pick my card here. The card for today, what do we need to know? What do we need on our side to support us? The frog. It says cleaning house, releasing cleaning house, releasing, sorry, my eyes aren't focusing. Releasing emotional baggage. Wow, that's probably pretty important, isn't it? So 14, I'm going to read the first paragraph. The frog says it's time to clean house and get rid of the clutter in your environment, your head, and your heart. Good morning, Joanne. Good to see you here. Move out any objects, thoughts, or relationships that hold you back. It's time to get rid of anything that clutters your life or your space with unwanted, burdensome energy or anything that weighs heavily on your heart. The frog says it's time to release all things no longer appropriate to bring on your journey. Then you can hop to the next lily pad, light and free. Isn't that lovely? So I'm doing my own little version of some house cleaning today because I'm organizing projects. It's kind of a week-long project that I'm doing because I have so many projects to organize, but I'm working on it. And our inquiry card of the day, this is where you get to play along, and I would love for you to comment in the comment section. I pick an inquiry card, which are these lovely cards here. And the one for today is, this is a big one. What needs to change? What needs to change? So I will answer for myself, and you can do it for yourself. What needs to change? I'm going to tune in for a minute, get my parts aligned, my mind, my body, my spirit, past, present, future, inner child, personality, higher self. Those are the three parts, the Trinity, right? What needs to change? First word that comes to me is attitude. Really, I've been in this state of total gratitude every morning, waking up excited to be here on planet Earth, really feeling like, oh my gosh, it's one more day I get here, not taking anything for granted. Just, I'm here on Earth again. And then just a deep knowing that we go on and on and on forever. There is no end to life, just end to form, right? So that is mine. What comes to you that needs to change? You notice I didn't say, what do you think needs to change? Because to me, saying, what do you think only involves one part of us. I like more, what do you sense? What do you feel? What do you think? So I just say, what comes to you that we need to change? So line up with those and listen to those parts. Okay. Our ray of sunshine today. So this is where there's a little teachable moment. And I'm going to take you off the screen so I'm not looking at myself. I know, I'm so tired of telling you that over and over again. I don't know how to take it off the big screen now. Let's see. There we go. Look at the green dot. Our teachable moment today. So our theme this week is self-care, yummy self-care. And during a pandemic and every day on planet Earth, we need to be practicing forms of self-care. So I have a handy dandy checklist. It's something I absolutely love. Filling out. Makes my basic self or personality very happy to feel accomplished. And I'm okay with that. Like it's just do the thing that helps me stay on track and do things. There's a couple ways to stay on track, which we'll have a whole week, I think, on keeping our word and the importance of that. But basically, tracking is one of those ways to keep your word. If you know you're accountable, I check this every morning and every night, and sometimes in the middle of the day to check things off. And I was showing, actually, I had one that I was doing for this that was a little less because I didn't want you guys to feel like overwhelmed with all the things, but I just ended up sticking to the one that I normally do. When you do this at home, you can handwrite it, you can make it artistic or whatever. You could use stickers. Just do one for each level: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And I always have an extra one for financial, because this has been in this lifetime, financial or abundance struggles have been the most intense for me. So I just make it its own category to make sure I'm putting some attention there. So we've talked about the physical level: exercise, eating healthy, drinking water, taking vitamins, all of that. We've talked about the mental level, which is basically thoughts and affirmations, visions, all these things, right? And using our mind to help with our well-being. We've talked about the emotional level on Thursday, which is about freeform writing, having soul connections, having support systems, creative expression. There are many things that you can do to support you on the emotional level, and it's an area that's often neglected and often not understood. Like, we need to work with and process emotions, or they get stuck in our body and then they become addictions, because addictions keep emotions down. And then the level we're going to talk about today is spiritual, and tomorrow we'll talk about financial. I'm just thinking maybe tomorrow we want to talk about spiritual because it's Sunday, and I kind of like Sunday as a sacred day, and I'm reading a spiritual story on Sundays. I've decided that. So I'm going to flip it. Today we're going to talk about financial, and no, we're going to talk about financial tomorrow because I'm not ready. We'll talk about spiritual today, and we'll do financial. Financial, it's all the same. It doesn't matter what day you do it. So spiritual self-care for me on my list is doing 20 minutes a day of meditation. I have to confess, I don't always do this, and it's something I really want to get better at. Calling in the light daily, I do here with you, so you see that. I watch a particular person named John Morton from MSIA every morning from 9 to 9:20, which is why this call is at 9:30. It's called Blessing This Day. Him and his wife, Lee Taylor Young, do it. It's very meaningful to me, very heartfelt. I just feel it's so nourishing to hear them share about our blessing for the day. So that's a spiritual thing. I do this particular meditation once a week. That's a guided meditation, a minimum of once a week. And there are other things. There can be chanting, if you do any kind of chanting. Yoga can fall in the physical category as well as the spiritual category for me, if you're doing it really intentional. Presencing, where you sit and just hold space. You can sit in nature, observing. No thought. You try your best not to think, just to be. And reminds me of Eckhart Tolle sitting on a park bench for like days and days on end without eating or sleeping. You can do that, and that's deeply spiritual. I know I'm forgetting some. There's some wonderful spiritual things you could do. I consider service on this level. So if there's a particular organization you go and volunteer in, giving your time and talent specifically. Tithing could be considered under the spiritual, but I put it under the financial because I like a separate category for that. Most people don't. Most people just do the 4 categories: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. And prayer, of course, any kind of prayer would be spiritual. Everything's really spiritual if you think about it. So I'd love to see what you have on your spiritual self-care for the week, if you want to share at any point. And let's see what else. Our treasure tool. So on Thursday, we did something on the emotional level. I think mine was connecting with my aunt and uncle because I was helping them and I couldn't do much extra. I did keep up with a lot of my self-care, but there were several that also fell to the wayside for Thursday and Friday. Actually for Thursday, because yesterday when I got home, I did the rest. I'm being really vigilant about keeping my word on the self-care right now, because I think it's so important in this time. With the world falling apart around us, if we feel solid, balanced, in alignment inside, it's so much easier to show up and handle what's happening around us. And so the tool for today, what's your extra? I'm listening to this particular series, spiritual series, and there's a beautiful meditation that I was listening to the talk in the car, and then the meditation came on, and I was like, well, I can't do this in the car. So my commitment today is to do that extra little meditation that just felt really like it was going to be awesome. So maybe you have a guided thing. You can find some on YouTube. There are so many resources right now for guided meditations and things like that. It's a lot. You can find something. Trust you. Follow your soul. Tune in and ask your soul. to choose, and then go look for guided meditations on YouTube. There's a lot of kid ones too. So if you're not used to doing it, you could do a kid one first, because they sometimes they're 5 or 10 minutes, and maybe it's you and going in the forest, or you're at the beach, or you find a treasure chest. Like they're really sweet and cool things that will hold your attention. So that's another thing to do is guided meditation. So my intention for the day, I have an upcoming call, a 2-hour USM related call that's a trio. Super excited to be doing that today. And then the rest of the day is unstructured, and I'm excited about that. And I do want to work on some of my projects that I have and organizing my papers and things. So that's pretty much my intention for today. Maybe make a nice dinner. And when I say intention, I really mean what are your activities of the day, which isn't the exact right word of the use, intention, but that's how I'm using it right now. The quality I'd like to call forward is just the first word that comes is calm. Calm in the storm. Calm. And joy on a Saturday. All right. And I am going to do a story time today. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I hope I'm not. No announcements. Tomorrow, Sunday, we'll be doing the financial self-care level. And I will be having a special spiritual book on Sundays. So God may be in the title or in the word. So for those of you that aren't into that, you don't have to listen. But it's a beautiful story called When God Made the World. And this is our story for today. It's a long one, so just be prepared to stay tuned. It's by Dr. Seuss. Did I ever tell you how lucky you are? All right. Have a blessed day, and remember, you are the blessing.